Howdy y'all, I'm Listener Games and thanks for stopping by. As you can probably tell by the thumbnail, I recently decided to join the GMTK Game Jam. This year's theme was
Roll of the Dice. That theme
gave me absolutely zero ideas. Well, that's not entirely true. I did have one idea from this, and that was to roll the dice myself and randomly generate a game idea. A 4X 1 minute post-apocalypse man against the world game. A 4X game, for anyone unaware, stands for Explore, Expand, Exploit, and Exterminate. That would be something like the Civilization franchise and probably some other games. However, my skill level mixed with the time constraint here would definitely not be conducive of making a game like that. Next, we have the 1 minute rule, but this jam already kind of has a rule, so I'm not doing that. Now, post-apocalypse games are already pretty much man against the world, so that's fine. I can get that accomplished. Going into this, I knew I had a ton of time constraints and was going to rely on 8-bit graphics. 8-bit is an 8x8 grid of pixels, which worked out perfectly for my setting, as I had made some 8-bit post-apocalypse assets a while ago for a different game idea I had and never did anything with. I did still need a genre, however, and decided to go way outside of my comfort zone and make an endless runner.
'Cause I'm playing to win.
I don't know why I didn't start recording when I set up the layout, but yeah, so essentially what I'm doing here is going in and grabbing these PNGs and importing them into Construct, have some enemies and whatnot to mess around with. Now I'm setting up the ground that's going to be scrolling by, that the player is going to be walking on. I always call it ground because it makes it easier. I can just go in and copy some code from a different project, because I make a ton of endless runners. And there we go. Look at those friends. Well, for now they are. So here I'm going into Shotgun Shelly, endless runner I was kind of working on. And I take some of the code, and I take the buttons from here too. But yeah, you see after I pasted it in here, it already knew what ground I was talking about because I had named it ground. Now I've got this moving ground, and I need to set up a duplicate one. But I keep running into this problem where I can't make it seamless like I want it to be. It gets real frustrating. This is a neat little trick I found where I can create a faux parallax effect by making the background speed be slightly slower. In this case, I have it at 75% of the foreground speed. This is especially handy if you have the free version of Construct, because you won't have to waste your only other layer on just a background element. And then also you can layer that under the every tick condition to just cut down on events. Here I'm just setting up a system for the game to spawn in certain enemies based on a variable, which is randomly generated every so often. I also gave all the enemies an instance variable for their speed, and that way it can also be randomly generated, so they'll come at you at a random speed. And here it is in action. Riveting. I made some weapons that are also based on a random instance variable, and I added some depth to the ground just to make it look a little better. Oh yeah, and there are the buttons I stole from Shotgun Shelly. Then I made them actually work and animate. Then I created a little 3-heart health bar system so you'd know when you were hurt. Then when testing out the weapons and the jumping together, I realized I had forgotten probably my favorite condition. Well, now that that's fixed. Or not. Alright, well I did end up fixing it, but apparently I didn't record for a very long time. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. I did, however, get the creation of the worst sprite I think I've ever made. I was trying to make an MRE. Thought that would be a fun thing to use as a health pickup, and I ended up creating this ugly little bag monster. Then I made this equally ugly piece of candy, thinking that looked good, like a maniac. Like, here it is in game, and I'll never forgive myself for putting this in anything. I did give it this neat little sine wave behavior that I really like, and I end up doing more with it later. And here we have the gist of the whole game. One thing left really is to just add some juice. I hopped in GarageBand and made some straight bangers. Made a sweet little logo for the game and hopped on the old itch.io. Uploaded this bad boy. Again, I really appreciate you guys like taking the time out of your day to watch this. You know, like I've said before, learning game dev has been such an amazing experience, and the community is like so cool. I'm just very fortunate to get to be a part of this. So thank you again.